Hi, about Zenu. Let me first extend love and greetings to everyone and to thank you for checking out this video. Now, the banner for this blog indicates that I'm a Jamaican. And yeah, I saw it go for true. So you might now ask, how could a Jamaican have anything to say about the current situation in Kenya that might be worth listening to? I will offer two answers to that question. First, over the past 30 odd years, I've spent a fair amount of time in Africa, and specifically in the last 12 years, about 90%, yes, 90% of my life has been in Kenya. That's my first answer. But my second answer is perhaps even more relevant to the question. You see, we humans generally don't see ourselves the way other people see us. And to underline the point, I'm going to quote from a little book entitled Friends No Matter What. The quote says, "My friend, if I could give you one thing, I would wish for you the ability to see yourself as others see you. Then you would realize what a truly special person you are." When we put the two answers together, what we see is that with me living in Kenya, but not being a Kenyan, I'm able to see the country in a way that folks who don't live here can't see, and in a way that Kenyans also don't see. They therefore don't fully appreciate what a truly special country Kenya really is. So, based on my experience in Kenya, I'm now going to highlight a few things that I think in some ways explain how the country has arrived at this point in history. And based on what I've observed in other African countries, I'm going to suggest that what Kenya is now showing to the world is, in fact, the direction in which sub-Saharan Africa is now moving. It may now surprise you to find that one of the things I'm going to highlight is the relationship between Kenya and reggae music. And while the nature of this relationship is unique to Kenya, I will further show that reggae has also significantly impacted the politics and the mindset in other African countries. As I see it, reggae is not just music to listen and dance to. It is an African spirit that traveled with the slaves who ended up in Jamaica. Among other qualities, this spirit is self-assured and it never bends or bows to injustice.
Stand up for your rights. Everybody up, up. Dumb, deaf and blind, crippled. Get up, stand up for your rights. Get up, stand up.
In the streets is getting hot, and the youths them again so. Selector techniques, run the thing.
It is this spirit that has been awakened in Kenya's youth and in the new generation of leaders and young people in countries such as Burkina Faso, Mali, Senegal, etc. Now, at this point, I will tell you that since 1991, I previously visited or spent time in 7 African countries, and in 2004, Kenya became number 8. That was after I came up with the idea of Seed for Africa. Check this.
Stepping up.
Aid for Africa. Seed for Africa.
Of course it is. Seed for Africa is a good thing.
Seed for Africa.
Well, I think it's good that you're taking action.
The Seed for Africa. You're fantastic.
Seed for Africa.
Seed for Africa.
Well, the word out on the street is that it's positive, it's a good thing, and it's been a long time coming. We are at the birth of the launch of Seed for Africa. What does Seed for Africa mean? Well, Geeza Graham is in the studio with me. He's one of the founders, and he's here to explain what does Seed for Africa mean.
Self-empowerment and economic development for Africa. Now, after two other brethren got on board with the idea, we decided to approach a few black celebrities.
My promise to everyone to share the sufferer. It's time to go back to the way it was now. But I gotta come off your rubber. Forward ever, backward never.
No, we could never deal with a backward.
Stick together
every time.
Last forever. The race is not for the swift, but
tired to
those endurers. We've been tried and tested and know the score. So pick up your bootstraps and backside.
Man, see, that's what we gotta do in this time.
We're moving forward, no backslide.
Just like the stars.
And that was Steel Pulse Live, and now in the studio, the lead singer, David Hines. Greetings.
Yes, Brinsley.
Bless. I believe David was one of the first patrons of Seed for Africa.
Not just one of the. Steel Pulse was the first patron.
Tell me how you heard about Seed for Africa and what Steel Pulse is doing to assist the organization.
Well, first of all, myself and Geeza go way back, you know, as far as the early 70s, before Steel Pulse became an international name. And, you know, we were there exchanging ideas musically, you know, in our rehearsal space at the time. And then, you know, he suddenly relocated himself and lived in Leicester. So as a result, I mean, we, you know, although we didn't communicate with each other for such a long time, we were still in each other's heart and mind. And then, you know, I think over the last few years, we started to re-communicate with each other. And then finally came with this concept about Seed. And he asked us to be part of it, and we immediately accepted. We felt honored to be known as the first patrons of Seed.
As I stated earlier, Seed for Africa is what initially brought me to Kenya. And on my arrival, I just couldn't get my head around what I saw. I said to myself, what? Is this how Kenya is? So a gentle voice inside said to me, Geeza, make Kenya your home and patiently wait for the revolution that you know is going to come. Well, it is now here, and I'm also here to talk about it. So in part 2 of this video, I will explain how Seed brought me to Kenya, and I'll talk about the things that Kenyans take for granted, but which just blew my mind. So if you want to see part 2, then subscribe to the channel and you'll be notified when I upload it. You can also like and comment to spread this video. In the meantime, stay good. All right? Blessed love.